everybody, it is Calxiyn here, and if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to go ahead and subscribe for more Miraculous Ladybug videos. So what we are doing today is I'm going to show you guys my reaction to this scene, but we're also going to discuss it as it pertains to the special, but also what it could mean for Season 4. And of course, I am talking about Cat Noir killing Uncanny. She's fine, but I feel like that there's definitely some stuff that we need to talk about, because I think that this has, like, more of an overarching effect than we may realize. American-French relations. Cat Noir just killed somebody. Oh my god. What the fuck? No! Oh my god! Oh. Cat Noir! No! No! This is fucked up! Obviously, the scene was super shocking, but I wanted to talk about it because I think that unlike the damage that was done in Cat Blanc that no one actually remembers, this will have a lasting impact on Cat Noir. Even though Uncanny is fine, again, she's fine, she's alive, but I think that it's more of a representation of Cat Noir and Ladybug's relationship going forward and everything that Cat Noir really fears, especially when Night Owl is like to Ladybug, if your power is fixing Cat Noir's mistakes, we don't need you. And I think that this could point to something underlying in the next seasons, basically. And it's that Adrien and Marinette, they're basically two sides of the same coin. That Marinette is like messy in her civilian form, whereas she's perceived as perfect when she is Ladybug. And for Adrien, that obviously is on the other side, that Adrien is perceived as perfect in his civilian form, whereas he is messy as Cat Noir, if we want to call it that. Like, another way to say this would be that Cat Noir is the human, the imperfect side of the perceived to be perfect Adrien, whereas Marinette is the imperfect human side of the perceived perfect side of Ladybug. Does that make sense? Like, imperfection comes with freedom, and that's what Adrien really needs as Cat Noir. He needs freedom, but with freedom also comes mistakes, and with perfection comes good standing, right? Ladybug is beloved, Adrien is beloved, etc., but it also comes with a heavy burden. Like, good perception comes with heavy burden and heavy responsibilities, whereas the freedom comes with mistakes. And so both characters on both sides are under a lot of pressure while simultaneously also being free and making mistakes, which in turn causes a lot more pressure, you know what I mean? So there's this pressure everywhere, right? But I think that in Season 4, we are gonna see Marinette crack under this pressure like we sort of saw in Season 3. Like, I think for Adrien as Cat Noir, this is his cracking moment in a sense. Like, he says, you know, Ladybug, you were perfect as always, like, I'm a fuck up, and he, like, renounces Plague, right, and all that sort of stuff. And I think that that incident is going to sort of weigh on Cat Noir in the future, even though Uncanny's okay, they make up, like, you know, he finds out how much Ladybug needs him, all that sort of stuff. Like, even with all of those lines of dialogue, I still think that, like, we're going down a road here that will be very, very interesting in terms of what this could mean for the future. And I think what would be interesting is if Season 4 basically takes us to a place that Cat Noir has learned, right? He has learned from not, you know, not being truthful with Ladybug. He has learned from letting Ladybug down. And now I think that he will actually sort of take up the responsibility, that he will be more responsible and sort of, you know, how do you say it? Like, take up the mantle, if that makes sense. Because Ladybug, I think, in Season 4 is gonna be under a lot of pressure as Marinette, as the Guardian, like, pressure constantly, pressure everywhere, right? And so I think that what would happen is that Cat Noir has messed up here when Ladybug needed him and trusted him, and he'll be like, I messed up once, I'm not gonna mess up again. And so whatever she needs as a Guardian, I feel like he will step up and then succeed. And so in a sense, like, this is his failure, in a way, and this is like the major failure. Like, they have had problems before, but not like dead-assing almost killing someone, you know what I mean? Like, Uncanny, he basically is like, hey, if she wasn't a robot, there would be dire consequences. And I was just like, Like, we've seen Ladybug bring back humans before when they're, like, dead with Lucky Charm and all that stuff, but, like, dire consequences, like, he almost killed someone. I don't think that that's going away anytime soon. And so I think that that's a really good sort of guess for where season 4 could be going with all this. Is that this, again, was Cat Noir's fuck-up moment. This was his big mistake. And so next time he needs to, like, help Ladybug with all this pressure and all this stress, he will succeed. He'll take up the mantle and be, again, like, Ladybug, I know I disappointed you in the past, but I am here for you. Like, I can see that you're under all this pressure and, like, I'm about to help, you know? And I think that that really fits in with another theme that we're going for. And I think that what is going to happen, basically, is that Cat Noir is going to see the imperfect side of Marinette bleed out into Ladybug, if that makes sense. That Ladybug may start to make some mistakes, and that Cat Noir will see her more as a human. Because I think the problem with the relationship is, like, in Miraculous, is that Marinette does not see Adrien as a person. Like, she sees him as a person, but she has him up on a pedestal. And the same thing happens with Cat Noir, is that Cat Noir puts Ladybug up on this pedestal, and I feel like that the only way for them to be in a relationship is for the pedestal to crack, for them to be on equal level. And so I feel like that that's basically what's gonna be, like, season 4's idea, if that makes sense, is that both of them are going to be, I don't want to say knocked down from the pedestal, because it's more like the other one will sort of rise up to the same sort of level. That Cat Noir will see that Ladybug isn't perfect as always. Like, I feel like that's going to be a big problem for Ladybug later, because she's going to be like, you think I'm perfect, and everyone thinks, like, I need to be perfect all the time. Do you have any idea what that's like, Cat Noir? And Cat Noir is just going to be like, because he does know what it's like as Adrien, right? So I feel like, in a sense, they're almost going to swap in that way, is that, you know, the imperfectness of Cat Noir is gonna bleed out into Adrien, as Nino sort of says, like, hey, like, maybe Adrien will finally learn to, like, leave the nest and, like, start to sort of, I don't know, demand autonomy against his father, if you want to call it that, right? Like, the Cat Noir aspects will bleed into Adrien, like, as a person. Adrien will start to be a little more Cat Noirish, and we've seen this before. Like, we've seen Adrien have this, like, Cat Noir facial expressions and stuff before, so it's definitely happening. I can't think of it, but I think it's when Adrien's, like, leaning on the locker or something talking to Marinette. I think that that's one of them. Like, that was a very Cat Noir moment, and I think the opposite will happen as well, is that, like, as the Ladybug aspects bleed into Marinette, the Marinette aspects also bleed into Ladybug. And what I sort of mean by that is that, like, Marinette's confidence, right? Like, we see in this special how confident she is at some points as Marinette. Like, she does very Ladybug things. And I think that's also why, like, Adrien talks to her very romantically, and I feel like that's because she, like, basically showed the Ladybug side of herself, like, giving that speech to the class and then going to convince, you know, Gabriel, and so he's just like, wow, like, I'm in love with Marinette. That was such a Ladybug thing to do, like, in the very back of his head, right? And so, yeah, I feel like that's where we're going, is that, you know, Ladybug is gonna have this crack moment, and they're really gonna bond over that, because each one of them knows what it's like to have to act to be perfect in the opposite, like, areas of their life, and I feel like it's finally gonna come to a head eventually, where they both sort of, you know, basically become, like, their true self. Like, the Ladybug and Cat Noir self merges with the Adrien and Marinette self, and that is when they will truly be in love. So that's what I think. Like, I think that this incident is going to be the catalyst for something like that. So let me know what you guys think. I'm very confident in what I said. Like, maybe it's a reach. Like, I know that, like, apparently people have said, like, what happens in New York stays in New York, and that, like, this stuff will not necessarily be referred to, like, by name, if that makes sense, like, in the show proper. But I feel like that the show, like, the underlying themes that still happened in this episode, like the Luca and Kagami stuff, for example, we know that's gonna be in season 4, and so even if the incident itself is never addressed, I think that the general theme, the tone, the vibe, right, the vibe of what happened, like, right here, will carry on into season 4, if that makes sense. And so that's my best guess for all that stuff, and so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.